So the California Democrats just voted to increase our taxes and ask us for a loan for $11.2 billion.
An $11.25 billion housing bond that seeks to address the full spectrum of housing needs here in our state. Our state must build more housing that families can afford. That is why the legislation is prioritizing housing funds for special need populations, including people experiencing homelessness, farm workers and their families, public university students, tribal members, young adults, and veterans.
And there are more than 40,000, maybe 45,000 units of affordable housing in California ready to go, all developed at the community level. All they need is the last bit of financing in order for those projects to become roofs, to become homes. And that's exactly what this proposal will do. This is a critical investment in making that a reality. This proposal will make sure that those neighborhoods that are already affordable don't get overrun by new construction, but can stay healthy, sustainable housing for the communities that inhabit them.
For some reason, every time California fails at housing, they don't come back with an apology. They don't come back with a clean audit. They don't come back and say, here's who wasted the money. Here's who got fired. Here's who lost the contract. And more importantly, here's what changed. No. They always come back with another emotional sales pitch. This time, it's $11.2 billion. And listen to the language they use. Veterans, working families, farm workers, students, homeless youth, first-time home buyers. Now, nobody is against those people getting help, but that's not the point. The point is this: why does every failure in California become another bill for us? Why does every crisis turn into another bond? Why does every solution somehow require more money from the same people already getting crushed by rent, taxes, insurance, gas, groceries, and the utility bills? California politicians are not short on compassion. California politicians are short on accountability. And that's the part they never want to talk about. Mainstream media, nobody, because the second you question the money, the second you question that money, they act like you hate the people the money is supposedly for. I don't get it. Do you? We don't hate veterans. We don't hate families. We have families. We don't hate people struggling to survive in one of the most expensive states in the country. What we hate is a system that uses those people as the poster children for money that disappears in the bureaucracy, that disappears into consultants, nonprofits, contractors, committees, studies, and the programs that never seem to fix anything, never seem to fix any problems. This is the California politician trick. They don't sell you results. No. They sell us intentions. And then when the results don't show up, they come back and sell us the same intention again. Don't take my word for it. Listen to how they package it.
An $11.25 billion housing bond that seeks to address the full spectrum of housing needs here in our state.
See, that's the part you have to understand. The packaging is always beautiful. The words are always beautiful. Affordable housing, home ownership opportunity families, equity, veterans, youth. But California has mastered the art of making the sales pitch sound better than the actual product. Because once the voter says yes, once we say yes, the cameras go away, the slogans go away, the emotional speeches go away, and then the money enters the machine. That machine has layers. It has state agencies, it has city agencies, it has county agencies, it has nonprofits, it has developers, it has consultants, it has legal reviews, it has environmental reviews, it has contractors, it has subcontractors, it has administrative costs. And by the time the money comes out on the other side, the public is standing there asking, wait, hold on, how much did that cost? Wait, why did it take that long? Wait, why is there still homelessness everywhere? Wait, Why is the rent still insane? Hold on, wait. Why are working people still leaving California? That's why this video matters. Because they want voters to look forward at the promise. But I'm asking you to look backward at the pattern. Before we give them another $11.25 billion, I want you to ask one question. What happened to the last time we gave them billions?
California spent $24 billion to tackle homelessness over a 5-year period, but did not consistently track the outcomes or the effectiveness of its programs.
California spent roughly $24 billion over 5 years on homelessness and housing programs. And the state audit found California did not consistently track outcomes well enough to show whether that spending was actually working. Let's just stop the entire conversation. Before another bond, before another campaign, before another politician stands behind another podium with another group of people behind them, the question should be, where are the receipts? Not the press releases, not the photo ops, not the "we care deeply" speeches. Where are the receipts? How many people, exactly how many people were housed? And how many people stay housed? How much went to administration, consultants, to nonprofits? How many contracts were renewed despite failure? How many people got paid whether the problem got improved or not? Because that is the business model nobody wants to admit. When a system gets funded by crisis, the crisis becomes profitable. If homelessness gets solved, the machine shrinks. If housing gets affordable, the machine loses leverage. If people actually become stable and independent, the political class loses the emotional hostage they use every election cycle. That's why the question is not, do you care about housing? The real question is, are we fixing the crisis or are we funding it? Because those are not the same thing. California keeps telling people on and on and on, we need more money. But maybe the problem is not that the machine is underfunded. Maybe the problem is that the machine is working exactly the way it was designed. And while California is asking for billions more, guess what? Los Angeles' main homelessness agency just got hit with a major federal funding crisis.
The allegations are very serious, and so are the consequences. And now the city officials are scrambling to figure out what to do next.
It's going to be a crunch, but it's a good idea.
Even though she's homeless, this woman says taking away federal dollars could actually lead to accountability at LAHSA, the agency that oversees homeless services in Los Angeles. The Trump administration is accusing LAHSA of financial mismanagement, poor oversight, and failing to track taxpayer dollars. Federal officials say LAHSA has received nearly $1 billion in funding over the last 5 years.
This is the part that makes this bigger than a state bond. Because in Los Angeles, HUD barred LAHSA from accessing federal funds while investigating alleged mismanagement. Cal Matters reported that the move puts almost $200 million at risk for LA service providers. HUD says LAHSA had problems with financial management, with internal controls, with safeguards against conflicts of interest. It also said the LA Continuum of Care, led by LAHSA, received nearly $1 billion over 5 years. Now, LAHSA disputes the federal actions and says it has corrected or is correcting many of the issues. That matters. This is still an investigation, and we should say that clearly, but here's the point. How does a system get this messy before the public hears about it? How do agencies keep getting hundreds of millions before normal taxpayers get a simple answer? How does money keep flowing while the streets still look the same way they look? And why is it always framed as cruel when taxpayers finally ask questions? This is what they do. When they want money, they talk about compassion. When you ask where the money went, they talk about politics. When you demand accountability, They say you're attacking the vulnerable. No. The vulnerable, they're being used. The taxpayers, we're being used. And the people inside the machine are protected from the consequences of failure. That's why this new bond should not be discussed in isolation. No, this is about $11.25 billion. This is about a pattern. They ask for money. The public says yes. The problem gets worse. Nobody gets held accountable. Then guess what they do? They ask for more money. And somehow we, the taxpayer, is the bad guy for noticing. The Los Angeles voters have already seen what happens when a housing bond gets sold as a solution.
A city audit of the $1.2 billion housing bond measure that Los Angeles voters approved 6 years ago shows the longer it takes to build permanent housing funded by HHH, the more money it costs to build a single unit. Originally, the average cost to build a single apartment was $350,000. Now it's close to $600,000 per unit, and some units will cost as much as $837,000. The audit also found that although 10,000 units were promised, only 8,000 will be delivered under HHH, and so far, only 1,042 of those units have been completed.
Los Angeles already passed Proposition HHH. That was a $1.2 billion bond to build supportive housing and related facilities. Now, the city controller's 2019 review said HHH authorized up to 10,000 supportive housing units, but years after approval, no bond-funded unit had opened yet. Then ABC7 reported on a later audit showing the average cost per unit had climbed to close to $600,000. $600,000, with some units as high as $837,000? What? While the number of promised units dropped. That's the exact kind of history voters need to remember. Because when they sell you the bond, they sell you the dream. They don't show you the delays. They don't show you the cost overruns. They don't show you the layers of bureaucracy. They don't show you how many hands touch the money before one person gets a key to one unit. And they definitely don't show you what happens when the number promised to voters quietly changes later. This is why people are angry. Not because they don't care, because they do care. They care enough to ask why the people in charge keep failing upward. Why is Karen Bass even running for mayor again? Huh? Why is she even allowed to? A normal person fails at their job, they get fired. A small business fails, it closes. A family makes bad financial decisions, they go bankrupt. They suffer the consequences, but the government fails. Karen Bass fails. Newsom fails. They get another bond, another tax, another committee. They get another department. They get another emergency declaration, another chance to do the same thing again, more money. That's not compassion. That's political immunity.
There's a new housing law in California that can have a major impact for areas near public transit. This housing law, it's called SB 79. It allows you to build up to 9-story buildings with no parking requirement, as long as you are within half a mile of a major metro station or transit stops. Only 18% of people can afford homes in California, and a lot of young people can't buy homes. People that are for this law say that we really need this. The cost of housing could come down as a result of building these homes. Critics are saying this could be really bad for neighborhoods. Most likely, as developers come in to bid for sites, the land value of qualified properties will increase significantly, and the city infrastructure will have a big toll on it. What's happening with this law in California is showcasing a big battle on how we should do housing.
They say this is about affordability, but the average person needs to ask, affordability for who? Controlled by who? And profit for who? So before anybody votes yes on another housing bond, the question should not be emotional. It's to be practical. Show us the accounting. Show us the outcomes. Show us the failed contracts. Show us the administrative costs. Show us exactly who got paid. Show us who got removed. Show us what changed. Because if nothing changed, then this is not a solution. It's a refill. And California voters need to stop letting politicians refill the same broken machine. I want people to understand this. This is how they trap good people. They attach a moral cause to a financial machine. Then they dare you to question it. They say, how can you be against housing? I'm not against housing. I'm against failure being rewarded. They say, how can you be against helping veterans? I'm against politicians using veterans as emotional cover for a system that for some reason never has to explain itself. They will say, how can you be against helping families? I'm not against helping families. I have a family of my own. I'm asking why families are struggling after all the promises, all the taxes, all the bonds, all the spending, and all the speeches. That's the question. Not whether California has a housing crisis. That's obvious. It does. Not whether people need help. Obviously they do. The question is, do the people asking for $11.25 billion more have the credibility to manage it? And if they don't, why would we hand them more? This is bigger than housing. This is the California model. It's create the crisis, expand and broaden the bureaucracy, blame the public, then wind back, ask for more money, protect the machine that they're working within, and then what did they do next? They repeat. And the people who suffer the most are the people they claim to be helping. The homeless stay homeless. The renters stay trapped. The working class leaves. The small landlords, like me, get crushed. The taxpayers get drained. And the political class gets another campaign talking point. That is why this bond matters. Because $11.25 billion is not just money, it's trust. And California has burned through a lot of trust. So, before they ask voters for another yes, voters should demand something first. Show us where the last money went. Simple. Because compassion without accountability is how you build a permanent crisis. And Los Angeles is already living inside one. I'm Wolf Kage, and this is Wolf Kage Los Angeles. We're gonna keep asking the question they don't want asked. Are we fixing it? Oh, no. Are you fixing it, or are we just funding it?